All right, my super duper readers. Ooh, that's bright. Because I love you guys so much and I love this book so much, I am going, well, you don't know this, but I'm reading back to back. So today, as the title says, we are doing chapters 16, 17, and 18, right? So little recap. Remember we were talking about root words, review. Re means again. Let's review it again, review, recap. Let's talk about it again. So, she floated down. What goes up must come down, except one thing. All right. Well, that was why did I wink? And she came down. She beat him with a stick. But now they're not playing tricks on each other. They're moving their nastiness to other things. They're moving them to birds, right? Put the sticky hug tight glue, catch the birds. They're eating the birds. Ask me the story in class. There's a bird called the magpie. It's the black and white bird we see in Korea. If you see it, you salute it. I learned that from my friend Patrick. He's from Ireland. In America, we don't have magpies, but it's called the magpie because of pie. Magpie and pie. And it has to do with how they build their nest and how the old nobles in not ancient, but in like the long ago in Europe, kings and queens, they had pies. How they made the pies related to the magpie bird. This reminds me because they're having bird pie. Ask me, magpie. Alex, what's the story? All right, let's get going to 16, 17, 18. Yeah, that's 3. First is first. Vocabulary. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, here we go. 4 sticky little boys. Uh-oh. On one Tuesday evening, after Mr. Twit had been up the ladder and smearing the tree with hug tight, 4 little boys snuck, crawling, creeping into the garden to look at the monkeys. They didn't care about the thistles and stinging needles, not when there were monkeys to look at. After a while, they got tired of looking at the monkeys, so they explored further into the garden and found the ladder leaning against the big dead tree. They decided to climb it just for fun. Oh, here's my trophy. Just for fun. Let me get this. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. The next morning, when Mr. Twit went out to collect the birds, he found 4 miserable little boys sitting in the tree, stuck as tight as could be by the seats of their pants. I'm reading through the camera. To the branches. There were no birds because the presence of the boys had scared them away. Oh, Mr. Twit. Mr. Twit was furious because he can't eat. As there are no birds for my pie tonight, he shouted. Then it'll have to be boys instead. He's going to eat boys. Hansel and Gretel. He started to climb the tree. Boy pie might be better than bird pie, he went on, grinning horribly. More meat and not so many tiny little bones. The boys were terrified. He's gonna boil us, cried one of them. He'll Do us alive, wailed the second, crying. He'll cook us with carrots, cried the third. But the fourth little boy, who had more sense than the others, whispered, Listen, I've just had an idea. We are only stuck by the seats of our pants. Uh-oh. You couldn't see this. But the fourth boy with the one sense, the others whispered, Listen, I've just had an idea. We are only stuck by the seats of our pants. So, if you didn't know what just happened, I was reading through the camera, but then I couldn't read, so I was reading under the camera and I didn't see the camera. Oh my gosh. As you can tell, I am very good and professional YouTuber. All right, so here are the boys stuck by the seats of their pants. So they're just stuck by the pants. So are they going to take their pants off? Oh boy. Let's see here. Quick! Unbutton your pants and slip out of them and fall to the ground. Mr. Twit had reached the top of the ladder and was just about to make a grab for the nearest boy when all of a sudden, when they all suddenly tumbled out of the tree and ran for home with their naked bottoms winking at the sun. Okay, my reading is terrible. So look at that. Their pants are left on the tree. So right as he's about to grab them, the nearest boy, they all suddenly tumbled out. They all fell out of the tree. Ha ha ha, and ran away with their naked bottoms, their naked butts. Oh no, I'm going to get in trouble for that. YouTube, I'm sorry. Can't have naked butts. It's just a drawing. All right. This one's funny. Chapter 17. The Great Upside Down Monkey Circus. I love circuses, but I feel bad for them because the animals. Oh. All right, here we go. Now for the monkeys. The 4 monkeys in the cage in the garden were all one family. They were Mugglewump and his wife and their 2 small children. But what on earth were Mr. and Mrs. Twit doing with monkeys in their garden? Where am I? Well, in the old days, they had both worked in a circus as monkey trainers. They used to teach monkeys to do tricks and to dress up in human clothes and to smoke pipes and all the rest of that nonsense. Today, although they were retired, Mr. Twit still wanted to train monkeys. It was his dream that one day he would own the first great upside-down monkey circus in the world. That meant that the monkeys had to do everything upside down. They had to dance upside down, on their hands, with their feet in the air. They had to flip the page upside down. Ooh, they had to play football upside down. They had to balance one on top of the other upside down, with Mugglywump at the bottom and the smallest baby monkey at the very top. They even had to eat and drink upside down. And that is not an easy thing to do, because the food and water has to go up your throat instead of down it. Yeah, have you ever drank upside down? Impossible. In fact, It is almost impossible. You can't do it. But the monkeys simply had to do it, otherwise, they got nothing. Bad, Mr. Twitch. All this sounds pretty silly to me, to you and me. It sounds pretty silly to the monkeys, too. They absolutely hated having to do this upside down nonsense day after day. It made them giddy standing on their heads for hours on end. Giddy, crazy? I don't know. Sometimes the two small monkey children would faint with so much blood going to their heads. Giddy, kind of like silly, crazy, because all the blood is going to the heads. But Mr. Twit didn't care about that. He kept them practicing for 6 hours every day. What is this, a Korean soccer team? And if they didn't do as they were told, Mrs. Twit would soon come running with her beastly stick. All right, here she is with her beastly stick. Oh, she is so pretty. Who is she? Oh, it's Uji's girlfriend. No, I'm just joking. And there she's beating her. All right. Chapter 18, right? Yes, chapter 18 on this one today. 3 chapters. 16, 17, 18. Okay. The roly-poly bird to the rescue. So look at, here are the monkeys. Are they on the stick? And some bird's going to save them. Let's find out. Okay. Mugglewump and his family longed to escape. They really wanted to. From the cage in Mr. Twit's garden and go back to the African jungle where they came from. They hated Mr. and Mrs. Twit for making their lives so miserable. Terrible. My kids are goofing around. Hey, behind me. My kids are monkeys right now. They also hated them for what they did to the birds every Tuesday and Wednesday. That's right. Animals like animals. Fly away, birds, they used to shout, jumping about in their cage and waving their arms. Don't sit on that big dead tree. It's just been smeared all over with sticky glue. Go and sit somewhere else. Is that how monkeys talk? Hey, kids. But these were English birds, and they couldn't understand the African language the monkeys spoke. Oh, lost in translation. That's the worst. So they took no notice and went on using the big dead tree and getting caught for Mrs. Twit's bird pie. Oh. Wow, look at this cool illustration. You have your own book so you can see. They're in their cage. All right, let's fix this and get going here. Then one day, a truly magnificent bird flew down out of the sky and landed on the monkey cage. Good heavens! Cried all the monkeys together. It's the roly-poly bird! What on earth are you doing over here in England? So, England? Oh, it's the roly-poly bird. What on earth are you doing here in England? Roly-poly bird? That's my English accent. Like the monkeys, the roly-poly bird came from Africa, and he spoke the same language as they did. I've come for a holiday, said the roly-poly bird. I like to travel. Hey, I'm reading here. My kids are being. There's one above the bath. Look. He fluffed his marvelous colored feathers, and looked down rather grandly at the monkeys. For most people, he went on flying. Flying away on holiday is very expensive, but I can fly anywhere in the world for nothing. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. My kids are making a crazy amount of noise in the back. I just took Suya Nuna just took a bath. All right. I can fly anywhere for nothing. Do you know how to talk to these English birds? Mugglewump asked him. Okay. Mugglewump asked the bird. Of course I do, said the roly-poly bird. It's no good going to another country and not knowing the language. This is so true. That's why we learn English. If you go to learn the other, that's why I learned Korean. 안녕하십니까. 알렉스입니다. 미국 사람입니다. 나는 정재. Okay. Then we must hurry, said Mugglewump. Today is Tuesday, and over there you can already see the revolting Mr. Twit up the ladder painting sticky glue on all the branches of the big dead tree. This evening, when the birds come in to roost, you must warn them not to perch on that tree, or they will be made into bird pie. Did I? Okay. Made into bird pie. Where are we? Okay. That evening, the roly-poly bird, you know the roly-poly? Rolly-poly? Is it rolly-poly? Roly-poly. The roly-poly insect. It's becoming summer. We'll see one soon. Flew around and around the big dead tree, singing out. You want me to sing this? The stick stuff all over the tree. If you land in the branches, you'll never get free. So fly away, stay up high, or you'll finish up tomorrow in a hot bird pie. Shall I sing one more time? There's sticky stick stuff all over the tree. If you land on the branches, you'll never get free. So fly away, stay up high, or you'll finish up tomorrow in a hot bird pie. Very good. I like the monkeys. I like the roly-poly bird. Saving everyone. Mr. and Mrs. Twit probably don't like them, right? Okie dokie, everybody. I hope you enjoyed those two. I am going to take a little break, so read these chapters. Next week, I will post our other chapters, but my class, you guys, you know where you are. I know where you are. We all know where you are. Have a great night. Do the workbooks that I've taught you. Please write try to get inspiration from, if I did this, okay, you guys know where you're at. So we just finished it. The roly-poly and the monkeys are warning the birds. All right, good job. So, my students, you know where you're at in the books. I really, really want you to take inspiration from Roald Dahl. When you're writing, there's two parts of the workbook, right? There's the easier part, which is comprehension. Check, A, B, and C. But the other parts, use your imagination. Write creatively. Like the last time, write some very, very wild stories about tricks and anything you have, okay? Write. Don't worry about mistakes. Just write. Funny, crazy, anything. Use words, whatever, okay? Alrighty. Have a wonderful night. Good job. Bye.